Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Satte kassen kere konso baba konso felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Welcome to Wanna Bet. I made a conscious effort not to say hey, hey, hey. I think ever since I mentioned Fat Albert on the air, what was that, probably 6-8 weeks ago, I can't get the how about the bass on that? I mean, you want to talk about a jam. The Fat Albert song is a jam. I'll put that up there with any original intro music to any TV show ever. Hey, hey, hey. It's Wanna Bet, where we get you paid most of the time. If you're new to the show, we're talking betting. We're focused on the NFL, and we smash single game windows. We just do. Rundown on the side of the show. Hey, I'm Jason. That's Ben. Rundown over there. First, second, third down, three of our favorite plays of the day. Again, heavily weighted NFL show. Fourth down could be fourth and weird. A bet you probably haven't thought of making that we made. Fourth and short, getting you paid quickly in this game or any game, like first touchdown. We don't do a ton of it, but pretty calculated when we do. Overtime, football and football parlays every single day. We show all our work, and we keep score. And Beltway Ben, I know you've got the ticket ready to put up, and we'll talk, briefly or not so briefly, pretty briefly, about last night's bets. But, the people know that you and Maddie were celebrating your anniversary yesterday. She talked you into not going to a rage room and the batting cages before you went for a lovely, I hope, romantic dinner, one in which I hope you weren't watching football the whole time. And you ran into a fan. You ran into a Beltway Ben fan at the batting cages yesterday, correct?
Yes. Shout out to Dave. I told him I would be shouting him out on today's show.
What up, Dave?
Huge fan of yours, man. Super nice guy. He was there with his grandson. So friendly. Just
awesome.
Very, very nice guy. But I saw him kind of looking at me, and he comes over and he's like, "You're Ben, right?" Now my mom posts a lot of stuff about me on Facebook, so I'm like, this is a family friend, maybe this is somebody I don't know. And he's like, Beltway Ben. And once he kind of said Beltway Ben, I'm like, oh, you might know me from the station. And then he's like, man, I listen to you guys all the time on the station. I watch Wanna Bet. I'm a subscriber. And he's like, I got YouTube Premium, so I don't have to get the ads on there. And he's like, look, you'll probably see it. Pulls up YouTube right in front of us, or right in front of me. Shows me, I see 105.7, and then I see Wanna Bet right under it. A true loyal listener, was super friendly. We talked about Baltimore sports for a while. We talked about a lot of things, man. Super nice guy. Was there with his grandson. Shout out to Dave, awesome guy. And yeah, anytime you guys see us in public, I mean, we're very nice, as long as you're nice to us. Again, this dude Dave was down to earth, man, awesome guy. But for the batting cage itself, man, I gotta get back in there regularly, right? I remember I started having those like rage moments where I'm in the cage and I'll foul one off or miss one, and I'm just getting angry and just like want to slam things. And I'm like, man, I miss these days where I was just so frustrated. Nothing used to beat hitting at the cages and being furious. I used to, I'm a very fiery guy. Had the speed all the way up. First time I went in there, I tried to get used to it, so I put it the second highest because I wanted to get, and that was like fine after the first two swings. So I'm like, I'm going hardest speed. And it was tough. I mean, I hadn't hit in 2.5 years. I should have been doing better, but I will be. Me and Maddie and Maddie and I will be going back. Maddie was smoking the ball in there. She still got it. I'm happy to see that because I'm trying to talk her into a co-ed league. After that, I think she might be locked in. But yeah, great time. And shout out to Dave, very loyal listener, loyal subscriber.
Dave,
straight up pulled up YouTube, and it was right there. So much respect for that guy.
Did he? I thought he was going to ask you to autograph the back of his phone or something like that.
No.
You do have to get used to. Have you? I'm sure you've never signed anything Beltway Ben Hall.
Never signed a Beltway Ben Hall.
If I were you, I would start practicing because you got to put the Beltway in there. People are going to expect the Beltway.
Yeah, you're right. I usually, when I do signatures, I do.
Or like for Uber fan, you throw the Beltway in there. You know what I mean? If it's just It's a casual mook at the casino on Monday night. They might just get a scribble scrabble Ben Hall.
Right.
But for the
right.
OGs,
Yeah.
for a guy like Dave, you write out, you give him a nice Beltway Ben Hall. You give him the full Monty.
Yeah, nah, I didn't even think of the adding a Beltway. I'm definitely going to keep that when somebody asks for somebody giving out bet signature. I'll make sure I put Beltway on there.
I told you it was a winner. From the first time you did the traffic, and I'm like,
yeah, I was
talking to
furious.
Sapienza, I'm like, he's a natural. He's Beltway Ben Hall.
Anybody who doesn't know, I was
Chuck
doing
knows.
traffic and they were calling me Beltway Ben, and I don't think there was anybody more frustrated about it than me. And the name is stuck.
Yeah.
I don't care about it. Or I like it now, actually.
Right.
And anybody who I see outside, because I like my dad's like, you have to realize people remember Beltway Ben compared to just a regular Ben or whatever like that. And it's been working. A lot of people know me as Beltway. My friends call me Beltway sometimes, actually.
There you go. It's perfect. It might have been Sapienza who actually came up with it. Like it may have been.
I couldn't remember. Yeah, it was one of those
origin story.
Yeah,
I
because
think
you guys
it was
wanted me
Chuck.
to throw it in the update. Remember, you want me to say,
Yes,
I'm Beltway.
Yes, I'm Beltway. This is 1057 traffic.
Yeah.
Beltway Ben Hall.
Yeah.
Okay. Last night it went really well
For you.
for the most part. Yeah, I mean we went 3-0 in college hoops. Only one of them was sweaty. The Maryland game. George W won 101-66. Elon Campbell, even though Elon didn't score the first 10 minutes, don't worry, they'll get theirs. That game went over with over 2 minutes to spare and ended up clearing 170 something, I think, or damn near 170. We smashed the early game. They pushed in the second half scoring, so we didn't hit the plus 150 Rams to win both halves because they tied in the second half. For plus 150, I told you I preferred that to lay in the 10.5. So I don't mind our thinking there. Devontae Adams had a chance to catch a go ball for a touchdown in the first half. We had Devontae Adams anytime touchdown in the first half. He pulled up a little lame there. I was not all much in the second game, Beltway Ben. You know, I don't really like betting Bears games. I loved the Packers before they got decimated by injury. And LaFleur scares the hell out of me in the playoffs. I wasn't on a total. I wasn't on a side. I thought the Bears would run the ball well. Turns out they fell behind so fast because their coach is a little mookie too, that they got out of game flow. So that didn't hit. The Jacobs anytime touchdown, frankly, should have hit. But LaFleur finding a way not to put it in Jacobs' gut 20 times in that game, that's a chef's kiss. I think I'm going to be fading the Bears. And Beltway Ben, if LaFleur does come here to replace Harbaugh, you got to hope and pray he brings an offensive coordinator with him who's a play caller. This guy trying to do it all himself ain't it. He's 3-6 in the playoffs now.
Yeah, and a number of those are blown. He had the 49ers beat. Everybody thought for sure
Yes.
he blew that game. Pathetic. And again, I didn't give it out on the show. You guys know how we feel about the Packers. I did play it on my own. Felt really great about it until the end there. Josh Jacobs, I had him involved in so many damn bets. And the first 15 minutes of the game, the first 20 to 25 minutes of the game, I'm feeling myself. There's no way this doesn't cash. He's going to cash to regular yardage. I took him up to 100. I took him for touchdowns. I took him for carries.
Yeah.
Just completely backfires. And as Jason mentioned, of everything that didn't hit, the carries was the one that even when it was clear that he couldn't get it going in the second half and they weren't giving it to him as much, the carries were still going to get there. They're going to need to run some clock. They're going to have him stuff it up the middle a few times. He ends on 19. Man, it was an awful day for me. We did tail a few of Jason's plays. We did cash a few plays from earlier in the week, a few parlays to keep us above 40. But the Derek Queen triple-double immediately is taken away yesterday because we have Rico Dowdle lose two different bets because Chuba Hubbard's the guy. And now Rico Dowdle, by the way, today said he's probably not going to be going back to Carolina with how they used him down the stretch. Christian Watson, I thought he could get there. Romeo Dobbs ended up being the guy. Josh Jacobs, I already broke that down. It's just, and the Rams, I thought for sure, because I'm on them in a bunch of different ways in the futures market. So I thought, oh my gosh, if they lose this game, it's going to be the worst start to an NFL playoffs I've ever experienced. I'm concerned about them still. I really hope that they can figure out the defensive woes, but I'm glad they at least came out on top.
Yeah, we hit the Stafford 3 touchdowns. We hit Stafford 2 touchdowns plus 250 yards plus Rams over 27.5. Yeah. Uh, I got to find out about that finger though. I know he was getting no medical care, but sometimes a digit like that, there's nothing they can do. Even wrapping it up might just throw your feel off a little bit if it's at the end of the finger. So
And some of
something
those
happened.
throws,
Something happened there.
he was definitely not right. There were a few throws to Puka.
I mean, he
Like,
wasn't
never
fidgeting with it, but I think he didn't want to draw attention to it. And it didn't change the play script because they had no trouble selling play action. Like, it wasn't even like it's just little passes. I mean, it's the sell the play action. There was a lot of ball handling involved with some of those plays. So they obviously were comfortable enough with it. Yeah. I just realized I'm not wearing, like, this is the band X. It's not really LA. Although we were on the Rams yesterday, and we are on the Chargers today. I still think of the Chargers as San Diego. I always will. But anyway, maybe that's good karma. I do have Chargers colors on. First down, Beltway, Ben. Drake made a throw pick, minus 101 is where I played it. Like, I don't have Hard Rock or what is it called? Profit X. We don't have access to those in Maryland. At least I haven't found that we do. You could get it at plus 105 there. I'm not giving it out there because that's not everywhere or most places. Minus 101 was where I got it at FanDuel. So it's between minus 101 and minus 105 most places. I think it should be plus money. Look, it's a young quarterback with a lot on his shoulders in a playoff game at home. It's the best defense he's faced all season. It's probably the best defense he's faced in his career, or certainly since there's been any expectations on him. Chargers had 19 interceptions, tied for third most in the league. Jesse Minter does a lot of pre-snap subterfuge. You've got to read the defense and then read the defense again in real time. I think they're going to throw some looks at May he hasn't seen before. Chargers have an interception in 6 of their last 8 games. I think there might be a little more volume in the pass game for New England than some might suggest. I also think he doesn't have people who can naturally win for him. 50-50 balls. Like, I mean, Diggs at this stage of his career, you know what I mean? Like, the Henry, the tight end, I don't know. Derwin James, chess piece, moving around. Could be pushing it downfield, basically an arm punt at the end of the half. I just think we saw Bryce Young, we saw Caleb. When you're in the playoffs, are just different. And the playoffs against this caliber of defense, and I actually prefer them on the road than at home where you want to put on a show. I think Drake May throws a pick in this game, Beltway, Ben.
First down, I'm going to hit on a few different plays, all in the same game. But the first one of the day, we will get to this a few different times because of all the games I like today, this is right there, number one. Start here. Dalton Kincaid over 41.5 receiving yards at minus 114. The Jacksonville Jaguars really struggled against tight ends this season. Now they fixed it. They put a patch on it down the stretch. Some of that was bad quarterback play and no-name tight ends not really being able to do much versus the weeks where they faced some of the more elite tight ends. Dalton Kincaid, when on the field, has been one of Josh Allen's favorite targets. They used the first-round pick on this guy, and the only question mark has been availability. They let him sit a little bit down the stretch. He didn't play as much as he probably could have because they want him ready for the playoffs. And in the playoffs, we usually see quarterbacks go to their tight ends in spots. Kincaid's been here before. They're on the road. Josh Allen should be looking at tight ends. And I know Knox steals some things from him at times, but Kincaid's faster. Kincaid's in a better spot in his career. And as I said before, when you draft a guy in the first round, these are the matchups where you want to get the most out of them. If they can't show up in the playoffs, clearly that pick will look like a bust. It looks bad on you. It looks bad on him. It's bad for the whole team. He's going to be on the field a lot. He's facing a Jags team who, as I said before, for the whole season, if you look, they're bottom 10 in yardage against tight ends, but they've patched it up of late. And again, that's bad quarterback play, which is why that'll lead me into my next one. Josh Allen over 227.5 passing yards, which you can find at minus 112. I mean, the elite quarterbacks they faced this year, the better ones, Bo Nix threw for 352. You want to tell me he's elite or not? He still had success doing it. And some of that was garbage time, I get it. Mahomes threw for 318. Jacoby Brissett, 317. Brock Purdy, 309. Sam Darnold, 295. Geno, 284. A lot of respectable quarterbacks were doing this. Now, we get to the Brady Cooks of the world and Bryce Young at a point where it wasn't yesterday, where they were kind of handcuffing him. They're not doing it. They're not throwing the ball enough. This run defense is legit, and that a lot of the time will play into how we play quarterback props. Josh Allen will play hero ball. He'll take some shots. He will be throwing the football. He's cleared this 8 times this year, 9 of 13 career playoff games, and in 4 of the 5 losses this year. This is a tight spread. It moved even more in favor of Jacksonville. A lot of people lean Jacksonville. Jason, I know you do. If they're going to win this game, all signs point to Josh Allen either throwing from behind or having success throwing the football still in that type of matchup. As I said before, with the Jags teeing off on bad quarterbacks, I do expect Josh Allen to kind of storm them a little bit and have success throwing the football. So we'll take him over 227.5 passing yards at -112.
Nice. I can see it. Especially between the 20s. I can see it. Second down, we're going under 46 in the Chargers-Patriots game. I waited, like some of these totals I jumped early in the week. I knew they would move. This one, I wasn't sure. I love the under from the giddy up, but I kind of thought maybe it moves. I just wasn't sure where people were going to bet it. It basically never moved. So for 4 cents more than where it opened, I'm good with it now. We're going under 46 in this game. Chargers road games average 39.25 points per game for the season. The Chargers haven't allowed, really almost never allowed more than 20 or more points, right? Like they've done it once in the last 10 games. New England's only allowed 23 or more once in the past 10 games. These are 2 of the 5 slowest pace of play teams in the NFL. These are 2 teams that, I mean, I know Harbaugh was a quarterback, but he coaches like he's a defensive-minded head coach. Like, Harbaugh wants multiplicity in the run game. He wants everybody involved in that. They want to bleed the clock. They want to shorten the game. And Vrabel, obviously, is a linebacker who coaches like a linebacker. Like, it's new territory for Drake May. I think they've got to be a little bit careful there. I think this is a 21-20 type game, maybe 2017. I don't think anybody's in a hurry. I don't think we're getting a ton of explosives here. It's outdoors this time of year. Games in general tend to go under. Not that it's going to be a huge weather game, but you've got a dome team in the elements. They've got to, I think, keep it simple, stupid a little bit. I don't see a lot of individual players, right, who are going to take this game over. Like, do we think Ladd McConkey and Gatson and Johnson, who catches one of every, 3 balls you throw deep downfield, are going to, like, do we think Stephon Diggs against Minter's defense is going off? We think Henry's going off? Like, how many times are you going to throw it to the running backs? Throw it to them a ton. That's fine. Keep the clock moving. So, high percentage passes, a lot of volume in the run game. I think it's an under game, Beltway, Ben.
We're going to stick to the game we talked about before. I do like this game a lot. I think of the matchups for today, the one that, in my opinion, will be the best player prop friendly is here. We're going to play Travis Etienne over 63.5 rushing yards at -112. We will also play him over his carries, over 14.5 rushing attempts at -130. That's been a number that he's cleared regularly this season, even down the stretch when the rushing yards weren't there as much. You look down the stretch, 14, 17, 16, 12, 20, 15, 19, 16. He is the top guy there. And I know there was a lot of hype around Tootin and everything they had going with that. Etienne is still the number 1 to me. Tootin's number is very low. I think he'll get maybe 5 carries at most. This should be a lot of Etienne here. And then the 63.5 yard number, that's a number that he's been over in just around half of his games this season. You don't love taking running backs props who don't hit 100 much. I mean, he's been there once this season. It's not something you feel great about all game. I mean, 63 is still a relatively low number for me, but we are going to need those carries, in my opinion, to cash it. Doesn't have a ton of explosives this year, right? A few 20-plus yard runs, not as many as some other RB1s, but I would expect him to have some success against the Bills' run defense, who they'll have a few stops in the backfield, but they are light. They will allow a big play, and if you can get to that second layer, he should have success here. A big reason that I like this play, I just broke down Josh Allen. You don't want the football in his hands in the playoff a lot. You want to keep the ball. You want to let some clock run. You want to control this game. And Cohen is one of those guys who doesn't really give an F. He knows who he is. He knows who his teams are. And I understand that. He absolutely does. I get all of that. But with that being said, as much as he knows himself, they've still let Etienne control some of these games on the ground and have success running the football. And when you look down the stretch with how good they were, the carries were still there. If he gets 15 carries today, this number should be no issue to break. I think he's going to have one 20-plus yard run and a lot of fine ones against the Bills defense, who, as I said before, are very light. You can attack them in the playoffs. It gets colder. These guys get softer. They're trying to tee off on the quarterbacks. And Trevor Lawrence, like, they're going to be scared against the pass today. That passing attack is one of the hottest in the playoffs right now. Cohen has figured Lawrence out. I talked about it yesterday. We talked about it during our playoff reviews. I think, in my opinion, they're going to be running the football to try to keep Josh Allen off the field as much as they can, and that's going to complement their passing game. So give me ETN over 63.5 rushing yards by itself at minus 112, and then over 14.5 rushing attempts at minus 130.
Halftime. She's a white girl, and she's living in a white girl world. All right. Third down. We got some plays in this Eagles game. Saquon Barkley, 100 or more rushing yards, plus 194. This is at the FanDuel. They had it priced better than anybody else. We've talked about him on the show all through the week. We've got him pegged to Eagles money line. We've got him pegged to a number. We're on attempts. Look, they won a Super Bowl last year, Beltway Ben, and at that point in time, I think the pass protection was better, the offensive line was better, and the passing game overall was better than it was really at almost any time this year. Saquon Barkley still had 25 carries or more in 3 of those 4 games in the postseason last year. We think he's getting at least 20 to 25 here. Against a terrible run defense, I think 100 yards for this kind of payoff. It's just too good for me to resist. Again, it's a San Francisco run defense that is bottom 3 in the NFL since week 12. They're allowing almost 5 yards per carry. Their success rate sucks. They don't really have 2-gap run stuffers. Robert Saleh's scheme is pretty fugazi to me. Go hire him as your head coach. I dare you. It's the men against the boys, and the Eagles got back to road grading teams the final month of the season as the weather turned. You're looking at DeAndre Swift, 9 for 57 against these guys. Pollard, 14 for 104. Walker last week, 16 for 97 against San Francisco. And that was with Charbonnet going off as well. 100 rushing yards to me is conservative enough. We also like Saquon Barkley over 2.5 receptions plus 108. This was priced the best at DraftKings where we played it. Look, he doesn't have a reception in 4 of his last 5 games. That's exactly why I like this. It's not something that's been showing up a lot, but it's not like they have a Gainwell there anymore who's like the bona fide prototypical pass catcher, vulture in that regard. Like, the other backs don't catch a ton of passes. It's not like Shipley was getting force-fed screen passes this last month while they've been sort of road grading teams. We know what Barkley can do in the screen game. San Francisco allowed 94 receptions by running backs this season. That's 3rd most in the NFL. 83.2% completion percentage throwing to running backs against them. That's bottom 5 in the NFL. They allowed 5 or more receptions by a running back in 5 of their last 7 games and 8 of their last 11. Sirianni wants to keep it simple, stupid. Hurts wants to throw layups. He doesn't want to throw interceptions. I don't think 3 is an unreasonable number here for plus money. And we also like Jalen Hurts under 29.5 attempts, minus 118. I think the Eagles are going to be content to run the ball down their throat. I'm looking at his last 5 home victories. The Eagles' last 5 home victories that Hurts started, he's over this one time. If you look at the Eagles' last 11 home victories over the last 2 years, Hurts is over this in 3 of those 11. I don't think they want him throwing the ball 30 times a year, 30 times a game. I don't think he's going to have to. I don't even know that he wants to. I think they're going to shorten the game, running clock. Purdy's going to turn it over a few times, get the ball back, pound the field position on the ground. 30 is too high a number for me, so we're on the under.
Yeah, 3rd down for me, we will go to the late game. And Jason mentioned it earlier, the wide receivers for the Chargers and how New England's going to play it. I just felt Ladd was at too low of a number. We're going to play Ladd McConkey over 40.5 receiving yards at minus 112. Ladd is in the book of Ben's most bet guys this year, I would probably say. I think I've given out Ladd a bunch on the show, and it's been up and down. He did have a stretch during the season where he had cleared 60 and like 4 of 5 and went over 50 in one of those matchups, but it's been a lot of nothing for him lately. I was a little bit scared on the receptions. I know that there will probably be some quick hitters to him in the slot for Herbert to get the football out quickly. But with that being said, he's got a lot of yak in him, and he's been able to do it this season. If he's going to go over the 3.5 catches, I think he'll have at least one 15 to 20 yard catch, which should offset that and get us him over his receiving yards. He's over this number in just one of his last 6 matchups, which is definitely concerning. But as I said before that, he was over in 5 straight. Last season, this was an auto play. And this guy has only played one playoff game. I get it. It's a small sample size. 9 catches on 14 targets for 197 yards last year in that matchup against the Texans. That means a little bit of something to me. It does mean that he shows up in the playoffs. He had success in it at Georgia. We know he's a big-time type of player. Listen, Keenan Allen's getting his looks. Johnson's getting his looks. Gadsden's getting his looks. I understand all of that. And Ladd McConkey has not been a guy that's been the go-to as much this season. But in a must-win, you're losing on the road, you're done. Like in that type of spot, I would expect Ladd to have a few short throws, let him make some plays with his legs. And we know there will be at least one target 20-plus yards down the field for Ladd. Yep. Hopefully he can come down with it. I don't expect that Gonzalez to be his matchup. Gonzalez will be outside with, Johnston, some Keenan Allen a little bit, stuff like that. I would expect Ladd to stick majority on the inside. And I think he has success tonight. So give me Ladd McConkey over 40.5 receiving yards at -112.
All right, 4th down for me. It's a traditional, some might say quintessential 4th and short. We're going to go Dallas Goedert, first touchdown, 11-1. He's been the guy in the receiving game who's clearly been, the early game touchdown catcher for the Eagles. He leads them in first half touchdown receptions. I could see Sirianni getting medieval, going with jumbo packages, road grading the ball down the field, and then it's a under center play action pop pass to Goddard. He gets the most targets in the red zone. Devontae doesn't show up as much. He's smaller. AJ, look, San Francisco's corners. It could be anybody. Like, I don't fancy San Francisco's defense much. But for 11-1, Goddard being that guy for the Eagles in these spots, I don't care about Shanahan's early game script against Fangio on the road. I think Fangio will have him in his own head from the start. So home field advantage, if I think the Eagles score first, the way these things are priced, is it just a rushing touchdown? Of course, that's why you're getting this at 11-1 because, Hurts, we all know about the tush push, although that hasn't been as in vogue lately or as effective. They had some fumbles in what was sort of a playoff game against Chicago. Obviously, it could be Saquon Barkley. We think there's volume for him. But I could see Dallas Goedert being open on some sort of play action bootleg, from the 12-yard line or something like that, and catching one in his breadbasket in a way that Mark Andrews never does in the playoffs.
I got a 4th and long. We'll start with 4th and long, and then we will get to a 4th and weird. Is it weird? No, probably not. I could have put it in earlier, but anytime we can change the graphic to 4th and weird while we're live, we're going to do that because it's fun to do. It's a fun thing to do. But no, we'll start with 4th and long. I wasn't going to miss the NBA. By the way, you cannot bet triple doubles in this matchup today. I was disgusted because they knew you could have robbed them if Book. Yeah, no.
I figured you looked for it.
Oh, I was looking longer. And he hasn't had one this season, but he had 21, 10, and 9 earlier in the year. Now, the last time the Wizards and the Suns faced off, didn't do much. But for the listeners, Devin Booker double-double at +550. And we're also going to play him over 10.5 rebounds and assists at +100. Look around the league. The Wizards are showing their tank off right now. They just added Trae Young, which had everybody and their mother talking about, the Wizards don't want that first-round pick anymore. They're going to try to win. He's not going to be playing much at all this year. They showed their tank when they had Vucevic in the game over Sarr down the stretch just the other night. That's what they want to do. Oh, don't get me started. But that's what they're going to try to show and do. That's who they are. Devin Booker isn't going to probably get a triple-double. I was going to give it out on here for half a unit because it would have been +5,000 plus, and I think it's very possible.
It would have been huge.
Yeah, it would have been an insane number, which is, of course,
maybe it populates through the day. Maybe it populates. Maybe
and if
check
it does,
our Twitters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. because he can get there. He hasn't done it this season, but he's had a number of double-doubles, and he could get 10 assists against the Wizards team that's allowing more assists to almost anybody else in the NBA. The points aren't a question. It's not even debatable. And then the rebounds, like, he does have multiple games with 10-plus boards this season. Their bigs are kind of soft. They don't really want to be in there as much. And Devin Booker, as every single other NBA player, he knows his opponent today in the Washington Wizards, and he'll know where he is stat-wise in January in a meaningless game for the Wizards. The Suns are going to handle business. They want to win. But he's going to know where he's at stat-wise and know that he can pick on this team and make himself look better. I would expect that today. So I do think he goes over 10.5 rebounds and assists because I think he gets either 10 assists or 8 and 8, something good as that. And we're also going to play for a full unit. Devin Booker double-double at plus 550. I just think the number's fair for what he can do against a really bad team. And we attack the Wizards in these markets as much as possible, and we will continue to. Now, fourth and weird. I said I could have given it out in first down when we gave out the other Josh Allen prop. Really not that weird because I think it's more of a normal prop. They have it everywhere, but we're still going to call it fourth and weird.
I got to say, it's not that weird.
No, but why should we waste getting fourth and weird on the screen, That was a creative segment we came up with.
No, I'm here for fourth and weird. We could change the name of the show to fourth and weird, honestly.
Yeah. I do always appreciate fourth and weird. But Josh Allen, he's not over this a million times this year. This isn't a regular thing. This is a thing he's been over a lot. I mean, he's under in 3 of his last 4. One of those games he barely played, and the other, like against the Browns, he's not going to be chucking the football. I told you guys before against the Jags what some of the more elite pass-happy quarterbacks have done this season. Joe Brady, listen, I'm a diehard Baltimore Ravens fan. People are trying to push that Joe Brady shit around here. Please keep that away. Joe Brady sits on his hands. He is, I was about to say a different bad word you probably shouldn't say on here. He is a baby. For it. He is a baby. No, I'm not. He is a baby. He is, I don't want somebody who's scared. I don't want somebody who sits on me.
He's a bubble blower. I'm trying to think. I saw the SpongeBob movie with my kid. I think he's a bubble blowing baby.
I got to see that.
He's not a big guy.
SpongeBob's
a big guy.
SpongeBob's
a big guy.
SpongeBob absolutely is. And Josh Allen's also a big guy. And he's played in a lot of these playoff matchups, and he's cleared this number in a majority of them. I just don't know. I think Joe Brady's going to be scared. I don't think and that's the thing for Joe Brady, which I don't want to fully yell at him for. Like, Josh Allen used to have issues with turning the football over because it was these arm punts, but on 1st and 10, how valuable is an arm punt? He chucks the ball down the field and takes a lot of risks. Joe Brady has taken that away and said, throw the screen to Shakir, throw the short pass to Kincaid, let James Cook take you all the way down the field with the short throw. I would expect more of that today against Jacksonville, who has made a living off of forcing turnovers this year. They're going to take the run away. They're going to force Josh Allen to throw the football. And in those spots, I think Josh Allen will keep it safe, throw it underneath, take the completions that are given to you as he always has under Joe Brady since he's taken over there. So give me Josh Allen over 20.5 passing completions, minus 110.
Quick update in Die Bundesliga. Bayern started exactly like we thought they would. We told you, look at the way they started the season at home. Coming out of the winter break, we think it could be the same thing. Luis Diaz, it's going to go down as an own goal. Through ball to Harry Kane. Boom. Wolfsburg put it right in the back of their net. Luis Diaz, I don't know why it wasn't a penalty. Maybe he was offside. It's through ball after through ball. Bayern's pressing the hell out of them. So we're all Bayern -2 in the Asian markets for plus money. Like, if you think some of that money maybe is already earning potential for you, I think Bayern's scoring 4 or 5 goals. Like, they're pressing the hell out of them. Like, Luis Diaz, anytime goal. Harry Kane, anytime goal. The match is on ESPN Plus. You can watch it when you're done with us.
I'll have it on.
I think there's, yeah. You'll just be getting the update. You don't have to have it on. I'll be texting you in real time.
Yeah, Jason keeps me updated.
Yeah. Anyway, I think there's goals in them there hills. All right, overtime. Let's start with a kicking prop. We like Fairbairn and Boswell each to have 2 field goals in the game tomorrow night. Plus 186 at Caesars. 2 conservative coaches, 2 defensive-minded head coaches, 2 coaches who explicitly trust their kicker, 2 offenses that have some. Wow, Wolfsburg tied it. Okay. 2 coaches who trust their kickers. Boswell, we know they think is an inherent advantage kicking in Pittsburgh where it's tough to kick. Fairbairn's maybe the best in the league, and they trust him anywhere, anytime, anyhow. The forecast doesn't look bad. I mean, it's chilly, but not like that crazy cold that's going to keep them from attempting 50-yard field goals. Fairbairn led the NFL with 41 made kicks and 48 attempted kicks. He was 15 of 16 on the road. That was 15 made field goals in just 7 road games that he participated in. He had 2 or more field goals in 6 of his 7 games that he took part in on the road. He also had 2 or more field goals for the season in 14 of his 15 games. Boswell was 17 and 19 for the Steelers at home. He had 2 or more made field goals in 5 of his last 7 games at home. The games he didn't have two made field goals in were a blowout win over Miami, where that thing was over at halftime, and a blowout loss to Buffalo. In general, he's going to get his chances. That's why we also like both teams to have a field goal of 33 yards or more, minus 140 at DraftKings. This is priced better there than Caesars. Caesars has it at 35 or more for basically less return. So we jumped it at DraftKings. Each team in that Monday night game to have a field goal of 33 yards or more, minus 140. And then a couple basketball plays. We paired Suns laying 9.5 against the Wizards, and the under we took up in the Portland Knicks game to 135.5 and went under. So Suns minus 9.5.
235.
Knicks and Trailblazers to score under 236 points. This is plus 132. Again, we've been all over the Suns. Why? I don't know. They're 14-4 against the spread at home. 18-9 against the spread outside the division. They've covered 11 of their last 12, including that money line winner that they gave us against the Knicks the other night. 27-11 against the spread overall. The Wizards are tanking. The Wizards traded 2 of their best shooters in McCollum and Kispert, and they traded their best player probably in McCollum. They're starting a long road trip. They're horrible defensively. This game is around 15 points. We're taking it to 9.5. Portland is under in 10 of their last 12 games. All 10 of those games have gone under by at least 5.5 points. They're under in 6 of their last 8 at home. The Knicks are struggling to score if you've watched them at all lately. They've been a dead under team. They're under, they're 9-8 under on the road. So I shouldn't say dead under team, but they skew to the under on the road. They're under in 2 straight. They play at a slow pace. No Josh Hart is a problem for them. So we like that NBA parlay. We're also laying 7.5 with Detroit Mercy. This is more a fade of Cleveland State than anything else. Cleveland State's bad. They've showed up on the show a fair amount. They don't have many discernible strengths. And they're on the road against a Detroit Mercy team that's just far better than them. Detroit Mercy's 8-4-1 against the spread. Mercy's 5-1 against the spread in conference. I think they win by double digits. I have this as more of an 11.5 type scenario myself. So we like the value on Detroit Mercy, just a standard minus 110.
Yeah, we got a few parlays, and we will jump into some basketball shortly as well. I talk about the plus 100s that we do. This is for today. Josh Allen, 180 plus passing, ETN, 40 plus rushing, Saquon, 60 plus rushing, and Ladd McConkey, 3 plus receptions, plus 136. We broke down Allen, we broke down McConkey. Saquon, you guys know, we're on him a bunch of different ways from earlier in the week. That was one of the first plays we jumped on. If you guys are just listeners, we did hold up Meatball for Jason's 100 plus rushing yard for Saquon earlier, 60. We're bringing it down by 40, 20 from his regular number. I think he gets there. And then ETN, I talked about it before. I think they got to control the game with the run game and keep Josh Allen off the field as much as they possibly can. But when he's on the field, I think he'll throw it, which is why we go to this next one. Josh Allen, 250 plus, Saquon, 80 plus, Dalton Kincaid, 40 plus, and Stephon Diggs, 25 plus receiving, plus 552. During the regular season on Sundays, the regular weeks, we would play one somewhat plus 100 and then one somewhere around plus 500 or better with 4 legs. Here, we're taking Josh Allen up 30 yards. I talked about it. All of those losses, the 4 of the 5 losses they had, he was able to clear this number. He got here in a majority of those as well. I think it's going to be a pass-heavy game for him, especially if they're playing from behind. Maybe we get some prevent late in the fourth quarter, which Josh Allen has been able to destroy through his career and get more yards than a lot of guys have against prevent because he'll take shots that others won't. Saquon 80 plus, we think he goes over his regular number. San Francisco, worst team in the NFL, defensive rush success down the stretch. They've been bottom 5 all year. People want to tell me anything they want to say about Salah and how he's handcuffed with injuries. Well, this team sucks. That defense is horrendous and have showed bad for the majority. I know they just went out and got Kaiser White, but he might help in pass coverage a little bit. That's about it.
Put a bear front together. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
This guy.
100%.
Daisy.
Kincaid 40 plus. I like him a lot against the Jags. I think he has a very strong day. If Allen's going to get 250 plus, the tight ends are going to have some involvement. And then Diggs 25 plus. This is a number he's gotten for the majority of the year. One thing with May, it's not Stafford where Puka's getting 15 targets and his top guy is only going to get the targets. Drake May will spread that damn ball out and throw it to whoever is open, whoever's got a shot. And I respect that from him, but I still would expect Diggs to get his 25 plus. He's on the field more than enough. Next play. In the NBA, we'll play Cam Thomas over 19.5 points at minus 120 for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, when you look at the Nets team, they've been bad all year. They've kind of held their own a little bit when Porter Jr. has been able to play. Porter Jr.'s out, and you're going to have someone fill that void against the Grizzlies team that's allowing north of 120 points over their last 6 games. That's bottom 3 in the NBA. I think it'll be Cam Thomas. He's been under this in 3 straight, but anybody who's followed him for most of his career knows this dude is a shot chucker, especially like it's 2 shot chuckers. Michael Porter Jr., Cam Thomas. You take one away, you can multiply that and add it to Cam Thomas because he's going to get his shots in. He can knock down threes. I do like him in this spot here. Final NFL play that we have for this one, Kincaid, ETN, George Kittle, Omarion Hampton, anytime touchdown. This is a half of unit play. I just wanted to put in 1 4-leg touchdown parlay for the day. Just a half a unit. Oh no, that's Cone. That's not it. There we go. Half of unit. Plus 4,696. Kincaid, ETN, George Kittle, Omarion Hampton. I will feel very good if we can get through the first 2 games with needing a rushing touchdown against the Patriots who have struggled against the run. Kincaid, I think, finds his way in the end zone. It'll be between him or Knox. One of them will be scoring a touchdown today. ETN, I talked about. If he's got 15 carries, I think they're going to kind of hammer it away. And the Bills sometimes have allowed that explosive run. Could ETN punch one in from 25 or 30 out? I do think so. George Kittle has almost been an auto play. If he doesn't score one the game before, the previous game, I would take him there. The Eagles' defense is very good. I don't think they score a lot of touchdowns. But when they do get in the red zone the few times that they will, I would expect Kittle to get at least 2 touchdown targets. And then Omarion Hampton, listen, he's banged up. He said he's going to play. Between him and Vidal, I would expect Omarion Hampton to get the touches in towards the end zone. And also, we've seen him have a few receiving touchdowns on the year. So again, this is plus 4,696. I am not urging you to put a lot of money on it. Put $1, put $5, whatever you want. This is just a small half unit play, just for some fun to root for touchdowns. We don't do a lot of touchdown parlays, at least myself, on this show. And then we'll finish it off in college basketball. Quinnipiac on the money line, Northwestern on the money line, plus 117. Quinnipiac goes on the road. They're one of the best teams in the Metro Atlantic Conference. I think they are the best. I would expect them to win it. They already got their ugly road loss out of the way. They lose to Manhattan by 1 point a week and a half ago, and in that game, they were up 18 in the second half, gave the game away. I would expect them to bounce back here against a Sacred Heart team that has like 7 wins on the season. Quinnipiac has a number of guys. They had what would have been one of the top guys sought after in the transfer portal come back, Amari Monroe. He'll be on today. I would expect them to beat Sacred Heart. And then Northwestern, fade Rutgers. Northwestern's got the best scorer in the Big Ten in Martinelli. I do expect Collins to understand what he needs to do to beat a Rutgers team that sucked last year with 2 top 5 picks, that sucks this year without either of that. I don't think they got their 1 win out of the way against Oregon, who was without Shellstad. Northwestern has their best player here. So I do like Northwestern on the money line, and we'll add in Quinnipiac for plus 117. And then, we do have a few comments. Do you want to get to them real quick? We got a lot of people on the show today.
Yeah. Did you see our UNC Wilmington Seahawks, by the way, yesterday?
Down 20, come back and win?
43-21 at the half.
Yes.
And it's tied at 45.
Oh, I had
them in a money line parlay that got effed on a different game.
Oh,
but
I got screwed by
keeping
Alabama.
an eye on it just because I like to bet the CAA and watch the CAA. Dude, Stony Brook is up like 45-21 or 43-21 at the half. And that thing is tied at 45.
Oh,
and then UNC Wilmington wins.
Real quick, I had a 10 to win $89 parlay. The cash out was $1 at halftime of that game, and I'm kicking myself. I should have just kept them out. Stony Brook, they shouldn't have. All of a sudden, I look, I'm like, they're getting back in it. I had Belmont in there, same thing. Belmont's down 10 plus. So Belmont and UNC Wilmington come back. Nate Oates at home loses. Oh, don't get me started. That was the leg that screws me there at the end. To have a team come back from down 24, and that's how the parlay loses on the final leg. I was pretty frustrated, but we do have a lot of comments. I mean, this has got to be one of our most viewed videos, just live at least. But we'll start here. Nate Tomlinson, who's always in our chat, always showing love, put an emoji. He's locked in. Kyle Banderman, happy Sunday, fellas. I've watched every single show since betting became legal in Missouri. Big fan. We appreciate your support, Kyle. My friend David is in here every show. David Hale commented, Jacob should have cashed with hand over the face. Yes. My boy Dave, he's one of my casino goers. He was involved in the casino gate when
they should have just gone under center. Why are they running him out of the pistol from half a yard out? Get him under center. He could have scored. I mean, LaFleur should be fired.
Yes. Kevin Davis, you guys are great and entertaining. Jason is like Mick Jagger. Ben is Perry Como. Total opposites, but it works. I will say, on the show, I try to be that calm. If you guys know me personally, it's a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more. I'm not as quiet.
Fiery.
Fiery. Just a little bit more fiery, especially watching.
Ben's got some fire.
Especially watching bets. Alec Pete says, Jason, it sounds like you're shaking off your cold. You shaking off your cold there?
Lauren gave me this stuff that you pour under your tongue. It's like these little capsules of stuff, and I did it 3 times yesterday, and I feel 10 times better. I have to get the name of it. I'll give it out. I don't know what it's called. It's like a little tube, and you take the top off. You just pour it under your tongue and let it dissolve. I did 3 hits of it yesterday. It was a game changer.
That's interesting.
But thank you. Yeah, I feel much better today.
And then Jorgen said, just woke up from a night out in Chicago. What a night. Love you, fellas. Jorgen, I'm happy for you. You guys probably had an amazing night in Chicago last night. Come from behind. Jorgen's always in here. And then we did have Mr. Bad comment. Good luck today, gentlemen. Appreciate all of our viewers. We had a lot of people in the comments here today.
Good luck to everybody. Ben, put the score up, the scoreboard there, if you don't mind. So there you go. Are we going to stick with 11, or are we going to do Monday a little differently, or?
Up to you. We can do whatever you think makes the most sense.
Whatever works best for you. I'm good with whatever.
Want to just do 11? Try to keep that every day?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. Yeah, that works for me. I can't believe that I don't know, look like Harry Kane got tackled in the box. I don't know if they're going to look like a penalty to me, but I guess it's going to be a corner. Oh, well. Yeah, we can try to just keep the 11 consistent. That's great for me. The bottom record is every bet we've given out on this show, futures included, since we launched on May 21st. That's a lot of volume there, friends, and a lot of plus money volume. Again, we tell you what we're doing well. We tell you when we're in funks. We try to self-scout ourselves to help make you money. We appreciate all your feedback. We appreciate you guys tuning in. You can email us at wannabetwithus@gmail.com. We will see you at 11 tomorrow. Good luck. God bless. You want to bet. We want to bet. Thank you for betting with us.